Best scene of MISPRINTS by Adam Preston. Interior corridor, hospital day. The matron walks with Ollie and Richard.
He has a valve in his heart which is a wee bit leaky. It's a condition that can be controlled perfectly well with the proper medication. He's not had a single visitor till now, poor lamb.
Interior room, hospital day. Dr. Zahn is on his side in bed in a deep funk. He doesn't glance at the pretty nurse checking his drip. Ollie and Richard approach the bed.
Dr. Zahn, it's us, Simon and Schuster.
There's a flicker in Zahn's eyes.
You should have told us you were ill. Why did you go off like that?
Dr. Zahn manages a croaking sound that comes from a deep chasm of despair.
We published your book.
Richard takes a copy of the book out of his bag and hands it to Dr. Zahn, whose eyes light up. Dr. Zahn holds the book in his hands. He is pleased. He sits up to take a proper look. He opens the book and sees these words, "For Larissa." His face melts into a smile. He shows the nurse.
My latest book. It's a guide to retaining peak sexual virility.
She seems a bit alarmed. Ollie is exasperated.
I myself can bring a woman to orgasm again and again, up to 10 orgasms.
Will you please cut that out? I'm sorry, he's...
Not himself.
No, that's not the problem at all.
Excuse me.
She exits. Dr. Zahn sits up more and seems energized.
So, are they already in this shop, Lincoln's?
That deal fell through. The man from Lincoln's didn't go for it.
Dr. Zahn looks disappointed.
Well, the man from Lincoln's does not know his business.
He flips through the book.
There's a lifetime of wisdom in here. The world needs this book.
Ollie is starting to get fed up.
There should be a copy in every home.
Jesus Christ. I've heard about Writers' Week before, but this is off the scale.
Ollie!
For God's sake, this is bullshit. A health guide to longevity by an extremely unwell sex pest.
Show some respect for the author. He's the only one we've got.
It's okay. I know what this is about. He's angry because a few years ago I had the audacity to make love to his girlfriend.
No.
And I had the bad taste to be old when I did it.
I'm angry because other people exist for you only for two reasons. To fuck them or for them to publish your fucking books.
Shocked silence all around. Dr. Zahn lays the book on the side table.
I report from the edge of experience. That is where you find wisdom.
That is where you find Poo-Tang in your 80s.
What can I tell you? I never became gripped by ordinary life. I get my fix, I keep moving, the ice goes on forever.
Great. We've published a book full of your advice.
An achievement of which you should be proud.
But now you're saying this leads to loneliness.
You think I'm lonely? Maybe I'm not like you. You ever think of that possibility? This is a book that has not been written by a committee. It has not had every edge hacked off by unimaginative, greedy executives. Come on, what is our strategy? How do we sell this extraordinary book?
Silence.
I think we've got a big problem with the cover.
Japanese raku pottery is a passion of mine.
But nobody else is.
What do you suggest?
Fee had an idea. A sort of tongue-in-cheek thing, you know. You on the cover with a couple of glamour models?
Such an image would be an aid to masturbation. But if this is what it takes, then we do it.
What do you mean, we do it?
We do it.
But the book's already got a cover.
Do a jacket, set it up.
Fee did say she'd help.
Ollie looks at him as if he were mad.
What are you talking about? We can't do a photo shoot now.
I'm fine.
They look at him.
I just have to thin the blood. I'll be fine.
Interior changing room, photographer's studio, day. Dr. Zahn is seated at a mirror while a makeup artist touches up his face. He wears a white suit. On either side of him, two glamour models with orange tans and bikinis are applying their own makeup. One of them, Lynda, looks a little hippie-ish and flaky and is covering up her yin-yang tattoo with body makeup. Richard sits at the other side of the room waiting.
You girls should buy my new book. It would transform your sex life.
Don't you worry about my sex life, Granddad.
I practice techniques that make sex an energizing experience and offers women more intense, more frequent orgasms.
Model 1 laughs, stands up and exits, but Lynda seems interested.
Are you talking about tantric sex?
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Lynda exits. Richard approaches Dr. Zahn with a copy of the book and a pen.
You're looser in your limbs.
Richard smiles. He opens the book and gives the pen to Dr. Zahn.
Would you?
You've been having intercourse?
Dr. Zahn writes to Richard, whose story has just begun.
It was Fee, the one whose shoulder he fixed.
You see, I cure a man, I create a rival.
Why did you treat me?
It was a moment of weakness, and one which I regret.
Richard smiles. Dr. Zahn walks towards the exit.
Dr. Zahn,
He turns and looks at Richard.
thanks.
He exits. Richard follows him out. The makeup artist is putting her things away. She knocks Dr. Zahn's rucksack over. Several paper packages containing conventional medications spill out onto the table. They are sealed and unopened. He has not been taking his medication. Interior photographer studio day. Richard and Dr. Zahn enter the studio. Dr. Zahn takes up his position between Lynda and Model 1. The photographer moves into position. Dr. Zahn's hands hover over curvaceous thighs. His eyes twinkle. The models start throwing classic trashy poses. Lynda whispers in Dr. Zahn's ear, and Dr. Zahn smiles. We hone in on the camera lens. We hone in on Dr. Zahn's smile. A drip of sweat runs down his face. Suddenly, the photographer looks shocked. Lynda lets out a cry of alarm. Dr. Zahn has fallen to the floor. He is dead.